Have you ever wondered why certain truths seem to be kept secret by religions? And what if I told you there is a figure that challenges everything you think you know about light, darkness, good, and evil? Her name is Abraxas, and she holds a secret that could change the way you see the world. Of course, this isn't something you'll hear in a Sunday sermon. But believe me, understanding Abraxas could open doors to realms of esotericism, occultism, and everything supernatural. Are you ready to discover what they don't want you to know? Abraxas is much more than a mystical entity. He is the symbol of the integration of light and shadow, good and evil. In Gnosticism, he holds a central place, showing that these forces, which many see as opposites, actually complement each other. Imagine the perfect balance between creation and destruction, a cycle that never stops. Abraxas teaches us that the world is not black and white, it is made of nuances. Think about your own life. How many times has an obstacle turned into an opportunity? This is the kind of perception that Abraxas awakens. Abraxas challenges everything we know about morality. He is neither good nor evil, he is all of this at the same time. This perspective may seem uncomfortable, but think of it as an invitation to embrace your own duality. In esotericism, this idea is powerful because it frees us from the need to categorize everything. Want to apply this? Try a simple ritual. Make 2 lists, one with your qualities and another with your flaws. Then, burn them both, acknowledging that both make you who you are. This is the spirit of Abraxas in action. One of the most intriguing lessons from Abraxas is the idea that chaos and order coexist. You know those moments when everything seems to fall apart, but suddenly, something amazing emerges? That's his power. For the Gnostics, this is life functioning in perfect harmony. Think about how to apply this in your daily life. When something goes wrong, ask yourself what you can learn from the situation. This practice not only changes your mindset but also connects you to something greater, like a pact with yourself to look beyond appearances. In Gnosticism, Abraxas is not just an abstract idea, he represents the living energy of the universe. Light and darkness are like 2 sides of the same coin, and he shows us how to navigate between them. Imagine being in a cult where every movement, every invocation, is aimed at finding balance. You don't need to perform a complicated ritual to feel this. Try something simple, like meditating in a dark space with a candle burning, symbolizing the union of opposites. Abraxas isn't just in ancient texts, he's in the experience of now. Finally, Abraxas invites us to embrace the unknown, to accept that not everything needs to be defined. He is an entity that transcends, integrating esotericism, occultism, and the supernatural. This view may seem radical, but deep down, it resonates with something very human, the desire to understand the universe and our place in it. So, how will you use this knowledge? Maybe it's time to dive deeper, to open up to new perspectives and rituals that challenge traditional narratives. Let's move on to the next step together. If this intrigued you, just wait until you understand where this fascinating figure came from and how it relates to Gnosticism. After all, Abraxas is just the beginning of this journey into the supernatural. Abraxas appears in Gnosticism as a direct response to the simplicity of early Christianity, which viewed creation as the work of a perfect God. For the Gnostics, this view made no sense. They believed that the material world was a trap created by a demiurge, an imperfect entity that acted like a kind of flawed architect. This idea not only explained the chaos and suffering of the world but also highlighted the need to break free from it. Imagine facing reality as an incomplete puzzle, where Abraxas is the piece that helps you see the whole picture. In the esoteric context, Abraxas' role is revolutionary. He not only transcends the demiurge but also represents the possibility of escaping the limitations of the material world. For the Gnostics, rituals and pacts played a fundamental role in this process. One example: many practiced invocations and meditations to access a higher truth, known as gnosis. You can do something similar. Try setting aside time to reflect on your deepest beliefs, questioning their origins and impact on your life. This exercise can be transformative, connecting you with what truly matters. The Gnostic view of Abraxas is also a critique of the rigid dualism that defines many religions. Instead of seeing the world as a battle between forces of good and evil, he teaches that these forces are inseparable. Think about it, how many times has something that seemed like a curse turned out to be a blessing in disguise? The Gnostics believed that accessing this understanding was like opening a door to the true self. If you're looking for a concrete practice, try writing about a difficult moment and identifying the hidden lessons in it. This reflection could be your first step toward Gnosis. Beyond its philosophical meaning, Abraxas is also a symbol of rebellion. He challenges conventional notions of creation and divinity, suggesting that true power lies within us. This concept is as relevant today as it was in ancient times. Think about how institutions still try to dictate what we should believe. By exploring occultism and Gnosticism, you can reclaim that power. How about starting by studying Gnostic texts, such as those from Nag Hammadi, or exploring spiritual practices that resonate with your quest for truth? Remember, the journey is as important as the destination. Abraxas, at its core, represents an invitation to introspection and self-knowledge. His origin in Gnosticism serves as a reminder that reality is not just what we see, but also what we feel and intuit. For the Gnostics, this perception was the key to escaping the illusion of the material world. And you, how can you apply this? How about transforming your days into small rituals, where each action is intentional and connected to your purpose? Perhaps the next time you look up at the starry sky, you'll remember that truth exists both above and within you. Now that we understand where Abraxas came from, it's time to explore his role in the pleroma and how secret knowledge, or gnosis, can lead us to a divine state. Are you ready to dive even deeper? In Gnosticism, the pleroma is the state of divine perfection, the home of true knowledge and pure spirit. It is like an infinite ocean of light, where all souls desire to return. But the path there is not simple. One must access gnosis, a secret knowledge that reveals the true nature of the universe. Abraxas, as the guardian of balance, is a bridge to this return. Think of gnosis as that moment of clarity you experience after solving a complex problem. That insight, multiplied by 1,000, is what the pleroma offers. The Gnostics believed that gnosis was not something learned from books or sermons, but a direct and profound experience. It is like looking beyond the veil of reality. To access this state, they used rituals combining meditation, invocation of entities, and even chants. You can adapt this to your daily life. How about starting with a meditation practice focused on your breath, visualizing a light connecting you to the universe? Small steps like this can bring valuable insights and bring you closer to the pleroma. The concept of the pleroma is also fascinating because it transcends the limitations of the material world. While we live surrounded by distractions, the Gnostics remind us to seek what truly matters. Imagine being in a cult where every word and movement is aimed at connecting you to the divine. It doesn't have to be that elaborate. A simple moment of silence at the beginning of the day, with a sincere thank you, is already a powerful ritual. The secret lies in intention, something Abraxas embodies perfectly. The journey to the pleroma is filled with challenges, but it is precisely what makes it meaningful. Abraxas teaches us that we should not avoid difficulties but embrace them as part of the learning process. How many times have you tried to avoid a problem only to realize it was inevitable? For the Gnostics, overcoming these obstacles was a way to approach the truth. You can apply this to life by reflecting on your challenges as lessons rather than punishments. Everything is an opportunity for growth. In the end, the pleroma is both a destination and a journey. It calls us to look beyond the immediate, to seek something greater. Abraxas is the guide in this crossing, showing that everything, even the most difficult moments, has a purpose. And you, have you thought about which parts of your life need more balance? Maybe it's time to explore practices that connect you to the pleroma, like reading esoteric texts, deep meditations, or even creating a sacred space at home. Remember, the secret knowledge is closer than you think. Now that we know where we want to go, let's dive deeper into the enigma of Abraxas and his fascinating ability to integrate creation and destruction, life and death. Get ready for a true shock of ideas. Abraxas is the very personification of paradox. He is not just light, nor just shadow, but both in perfect balance. For the Gnostics, this integration was revolutionary, as it challenged the worldview that separated good from evil. Think about life. How many times has something that seemed like the end of the world brought about a new beginning? That is the essence of Abraxas. He symbolizes creation and destruction as parts of the same cycle. In occultism, this duality teaches us to accept chaos as a fundamental part of growth. Abraxas is neither the hero nor the villain. He is the balance between forces that seem irreconcilable. For those seeking the supernatural, this idea is transformative. Imagine an invocation where, instead of asking for light or protection, you seek to understand your shadows. This practice, though challenging, can bring a unique clarity. How about trying something simple? Take a sheet of paper and write down your greatest insecurities. Then, beside each one, write how these same traits have helped you at some point. This exercise is a practical way to embrace your duality. The strength of Abraxas lies in his ability to symbolize the balance between chaos and order. You know those days when it feels like everything is out of place, but suddenly, an unexpected opportunity arises? It is in that moment that the energy of Abraxas manifests. The Gnostics saw this as a reflection of the universe, where everything is in constant motion. In practice, you can channel this concept by facing changes with an open perspective. Try telling yourself, "This is part of the cycle." Sometimes, this simple phrase can change the way you view challenges. In esotericism, Abraxas represents not only a state of balance but also the acceptance of uncertainty. He teaches us that not everything needs to be defined, and that living is about embracing the unknown. For those who seek rituals, an interesting practice is to light 2 candles, one black and one white, and meditate on how both coexist in the same flame. This symbolism helps internalize the idea that there is no light without darkness. It is a reminder that all forces, even conflicting ones, play an important role in the journey of life. Finally, the paradox of Abraxas is an invitation to transcend conventional categories. He calls us to live more authentically, recognizing that we are a mix of creation and destruction, of virtues and flaws. This understanding is liberating because it helps us abandon the pursuit of perfection. And you? Have you thought about how you can integrate these ideas into your life? Perhaps it's time to revisit situations you once judged as bad and try to see the lessons within them. Just like Abraxas, you too are a being full of possibilities. If the duality of Abraxas left you reflective, just wait until you discover the numerical symbolism behind his name. Who would have thought that even numbers carry such profound secrets? The name Abraxas carries a fascinating numerical symbolism. In Greek, its value is 365, which corresponds to the number of days in a year. For the Gnostics, this was no coincidence. 365 was also the number of heavens they believed existed in the cosmos. Each heaven represented a level of consciousness, a spiritual journey unfolding over time. Think of it as a map for ascension. In occultism, this connection with time and the cosmos reminds us that everything is interconnected. It's as if Abraxas is a living reminder of our connection with the universe. The Gnostics saw in Abraxas a complete cycle of renewal. The number 365 was not just a reference to linear time but also a symbol of eternity and repetition. Imagine this in practice. Each day is an opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve. How about creating a daily ritual that symbolizes this renewal? Something simple, like writing down 3 things you're grateful for each night, can bring a deeper connection with the cycle of life. Abraxas teaches us that, like the cosmos, we are part of an eternal movement. The numerology of Abraxas also has practical meaning. It invites us to explore the impact that time has on our lives and how we can use it more consciously. You know those days when it feels like time slips through your fingers? Abraxas reminds us that each moment carries potential. You can apply this by planning your days with more intention. Try using a journal to divide your time between activities that nurture your body, mind, and spirit. Small changes can lead to big transformations. For the Gnostics, the number 365 also represented the integration between the material and the spiritual. Each day was seen as an opportunity to transcend earthly limitations and reach something greater. Abraxas, with his symbolism, challenges us to see time not as an enemy, but as an ally. In esotericism, an interesting exercise is to meditate for 5 minutes every day at the same time, connecting with the energy of the moment. This creates a routine that harmonizes the physical and spiritual, aligning you with the natural flow of the universe. Finally, the numerical symbolism of Abraxas is a reminder that our existence is deeply connected to the cosmos. He challenges us to use time wisely, recognizing that each day is a chance to start anew. And you, how are you using your time? How about starting a nightly reflection practice, revisiting the moments of the day with gratitude and learning? This way, you align yourself with the cosmic cycle that Abraxas represents, turning every moment into an opportunity to grow and evolve. What if you could visualize Abraxas in all his glory? In the next topic, we will dive into the visual representations of this intriguing figure. You'll be amazed by the symbolic details. Abraxas is depicted in such a unique way that it feels like it came straight from an enigmatic dream. His rooster head symbolizes rebirth and vigilance, reminding us that each dawn is a new chance. His serpent legs represent wisdom and transformation, echoing the infinite cycle of death and rebirth. The human body unites the divine and the earthly, reminding us that we are a bridge between these two worlds. Imagine a figure so rich in symbolism that, just by contemplating it, you feel the depth of its messages. It is not just an image, it is an invitation to reflection. Each element of Abraxas carries a deep meaning, and the Gnostics knew this well. The rooster, for example, is a symbol of spiritual alertness, calling us to awaken to the hidden truth of the universe. Think about it in your daily life. Are you living consciously or just on autopilot? Occultists suggest simple practices, such as starting your day with a moment of introspection, visualizing a new beginning, like the rooster's crow announcing the sunrise. Small gestures like this can connect you to the essence of rebirth that Abraxas represents. Abraxas' serpent legs invite us to look at the power of transformation. In occultism, the serpent is a symbol of wisdom, but also of transition and healing. Imagine how it would feel to use this energy to change aspects of your life. Try creating a transformation ritual, write down what you wish to let go of, then burn the paper, symbolizing rebirth. This simple act can have a powerful effect, connecting you to the serpent's energy. This is how Abraxas shows us that change is not only inevitable but also necessary for growth. Abraxas' human body is a direct representation of the union between the divine and the earthly. It reminds us that we are spiritual beings living a material experience. How can we balance this? One idea is to incorporate physical and spiritual practices into your daily life, such as yoga or Tai Chi, which connect the mind and body. These exercises not only improve your health but also help align your energies. Abraxas, with his hybrid form, teaches us that the balance between the physical and the spiritual is the key to a more harmonious life. Contemplating the image of Abraxas is like diving into a visual enigma. Each element seems to tell a story, challenging us to explore our own contradictions. If you want to deepen your connection with this symbol, how about creating your own representation of Abraxas? You don't need to be a professional artist, draw, paint, or even write about what this figure inspires in you. This creative exercise can bring insights into your own duality and the balance you seek to achieve. After all, Abraxas is much more than just a figure, he is a living idea that pulses within each of us. Now that we've visualized Abraxas in his symbolic form, let's explore how this archetype resonates in modern psychology, especially in Carl Jung's transformative vision. Get ready for a new perspective. Carl Jung brought Abraxas into the modern world by seeing him as a symbol of psychological integration. For Jung, Abraxas represented the union of opposites within the human psyche, light and shadow, conscious and unconscious. He believed that embracing these opposites was essential for achieving wholeness. Think about it, how many times have you tried to repress something within yourself, only to see it emerge in another form? Jung would say that this repression hinders our growth. Abraxas reminds us that accepting our shadows doesn't make us weak, but rather more complete and human. In practice, Jung's idea can be applied in various ways. He developed exercises like active imagination, where you connect with the unconscious through writing or guided meditation. Want to try it? Set aside time to write about an internal conflict you are facing. Don't try to resolve anything, just allow the thoughts to flow. This practice can help you understand and integrate parts of yourself that once seemed conflicting. Just as Abraxas unites opposites, you can find harmony in your own contradictions. Abraxas, in Jung's view, is also a symbol of psychological transformation. For him, the path to individuation, the process of becoming who we truly are, involves confronting our own demons. And here comes an important concept: the demon is not something external, but a part of us we avoid facing. Imagine how liberating it would be to accept these parts. Start small, reflect on a habit or thought that you tend to avoid. Ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Often, what we resist the most is what we need to embrace. Jung also saw in Abraxas a connection to cosmic balance. He believed that this archetype was a reminder that our psyche is a reflection of the universe. When we are in disharmony, it's as if a piece of the cosmos within us is misaligned. One way to explore this idea is by observing patterns in your life. Notice how certain events seem to repeat. What do they have to teach? This is the type of insight that Abraxas offers, an invitation to align our inner world with the outer world. Finally, Jung leaves us with an important lesson: the path to integration is continuous, just like Abraxas' influence. He is not a destination, but a journey of self-discovery. And you, have you started exploring your own dualities? How about starting today, with something simple like noting down what you consider your greatest strengths and weaknesses? Often, they are two sides of the same coin. Abraxas reminds us that we are complex beings, and that complexity is precisely what makes us unique. Now it's up to you. All the knowledge we've shared about Abraxas is an invitation to transform your life. How will you apply this? How about starting small, perhaps with a simple ritual or a daily reflection? And more, share the word of balance in the comments to activate the energy of this archetype in your life. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to continue exploring profound topics like this. Remember, the power of Abraxas is within you.